So there was a brief period of time in which Zen here was the best deck in format in Living Legend, Classic Constructed, and also in Blitz. That's right. And the one he was not best deck in format in is the Commoner format. Now, the reason for that largely is because Zen was being played with a whole bunch of stuff in which he was probably never really designed to be played with. But in Commoner, we have to play Zen as ZENtended. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my flesh and blood friends. Welcome back to the channel for another installment of Dice Commando. That's right, where we talk all things flesh and blood. But today, specifically, we're talking things as ZENtended. I'm so witty, and you have to deal with it. I'm so sorry, but yet I'm not. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. All right, but yes, today we are talking Zen. Now, as I alluded to in the intro, he's had challenges in Commoner, but I don't know that that's actually really true. It's just that he's had challenges as compared to the other heroes within his same class, which, you know, you always look at someone and you're like, why would I do this when I could do this instead? Which is a completely fair way to approach these games. But it doesn't mean that Zen himself is bad. He just plays different. Now, and it's a tough thing, right? Because if you look at Ninja as a whole, I think it's pretty fair to say that Ninja as a class is the best class in Commoner. I think that's fair to say, right? That doesn't mean that Chane and other heroes can't be better than an individual ninja. But as a whole class, I think it's pretty fair to say that ninjas are the best, right? And Zen, I think, is arguably I don't know if I say he's the worst, but he's definitely at the bottom, right? It's probably Aria, Katsu, Fi and Benji, and then Zen, right? And I think part of the reason we rate them that way is because it's just very natural for us players, we approach things to play the same way, and Zen's not, he's not Kadachi, something, Salt to Wound, or whatever, right? Kadachi 2-7, Kadachi 1-5, whatever, you get it, right? He plays different. So let's bring up the deck. Obviously, the link is below, but I think I really want to talk through some points before I actually do the card rundown for you all, okay? So what you'll notice going through this is, yes, there's a different blue ratio. You know, we have 16 blues, but I mean, I think that makes sense for a Mystic hero, playing him as ZENtended. Okay, I'm not going to stop. Okay, but what you'll see in here is we have a number of kind of the big swing stuff. So we have Flying Kick, which is obviously your 2-5-7, right? Because that's how you're playing it. We also have She Unleashed, which is effectively a 2-7, okay? So what you're really trying to do here, you're not trying to do Kadachi something else, right? What you're really trying to do is come in with something, set up a tiger, big swing, right? The vast majority of Zen's chains are going to be 3, okay? So if we go in and we look at this, he's playing obviously the RTT kitty package with one exception. We got to have something for him, right? Let's go Tiger Mask of Wizened Whiskers. And it actually makes sense to run this with him because you can put a card with combo on the bottom of your deck. Well, then you can go pull that, right? It makes a lot of sense. And then, yes, we are playing Kakara because a lot of the times you're going to need that on board, okay? Now, really good cards with him, Biting Breeze, okay? So I'm playing red-blue here. The red, they're going to block it. They're going to block it because they don't want to give you the tiger, okay? But then we have Biting Breeze blue. This card is phenomenal. Not only is it the blue that you've played, so now you have Chi on, but you also, if it hits, that they have to block inefficiently, poops out a tiger, well, now we're talking. Okay, going into other things, yes, Bittering Thorns in there because the card is, like, probably should be a rare, but either way, we have Breed Anger. So this is combo, so it's a 4, block 3 for 1. No natural Go Again. Does have to have the kitty out to get Go Again, so be very aware there. But then you make another kitty, right? So this is more of like an arsenal card, right? Get this, if you don't block with it or whatever, throw it in the arsenal, then try to do a setup around it. We have Flex Claws. This is an amazingly brilliant opener because they either have to throw something in armor or they have to throw a D-React at it, okay? You get the tiger and you're banished, and then you can start doing things. And then also you have the 1 floating. Okay, very, very, very good. Love that one. Not playing the blue because they're always going to block it, and it's not an inefficient block, right? So the red is the right choice here. There are other better blues to play, okay? Speaking of those other better blues to play, let's go over Harmony of the Hunt. Harmony of the Hunt blue. We're playing the red-blue here, but really good because you just naturally get the kitty, and it goes in your hand, which in Commoner's not relevant for like the Art of War stuff, but you effectively get a kitty to play. We have Flying Kick and She Unleashed. I'll talk about both. Well, we kind of already talked about both of those. You get it. Flying Kick, well, it has to be the third, right? Which is actually pretty easy. You do something, you make a kitty, and you come Flying Kick. In fact, Harmony of the Hunt makes a kitty. What you have to, I think it's hard for us as players, it's hard for me at least as a player, to want to throw a kitty out there for 0. And we've got Kakara, and you're like, okay, well, I can set this up and I can get +1 on my kitty. And that's valid, completely valid. But a lot of times I think you have to be okay with a red, because think about it, off a blue, you can Harmony the Hunt, blue, throw the kitty for 0, and still come in for 7 off of a Flying Kick. That's a 10 damage 3 card. That's not bad. And the blocking, well, it's fine on that, but it's not on Flying Kick, right? The blocking's bad. And you actually, if you're up against many of the meta decks in Commoner, they actually run more 2s than you'd think, right? So now looking at Pouncing She, right? This is another example of a great card to throw, even if you only have a 0 kitty. This is a great one. It's a great chain extender into like a She, well, not into She Unleashed, because She Unleashed needs the tiger, right? But Flying Kick, something like that. And of course, remember we have the RTT kitty package on board, but you only get one of those, right? So my point is, be comfortable throwing 0 cost kitties and just using it to extend your chain, okay? You have Sink Below, speaks for itself. Red, blue, Soul Bead, fine. Tiger Incantation, +3 and +1. Again, this is one of those situations where you actually are fine with, now keep in mind, this is a non-attack, does not count as a chain. Your tiger would thus be the first chain, or your pending tiger would extend the chain, but you need something else. So remember that. Now, where things get dicey here is we only have 4 Chi cards. I don't think you can, I keep going back between 4 and 5, but the reality is it just doesn't feel good to have 5, because if you go to that point, do you really want to have 2 of them in your hand at the same time? It's great to do the thing, but if you think about what you're using, like you have to have one and you have to have a target, right? So like grain that tips the scale, if you don't have a target, you don't have something out there, you can't play it. So then you're stuck, right? So we chose Homage, needs no target. Path Well Traveled, you need Go Again there, which is pretty manageable. Again, you have to have something out. And then Rising, you don't. So you only have 2 of them that don't need something. So you have to be careful. A lot of times I think that arsenaling the Chi is actually better, or the Chi card is actually better, because then you can get your blue out, you can pay into it, and then you can do the thing, and then you can go tutor what you want, like, I don't know, She Unleashed or Pouncing She, and get it done. Okay, now going into the Arsenal space, we have Oasis Respite. I kept going back and forth with this on Polarity. I actually think now that I made the decision like 5 minutes before I shot this to put Oasis Respite back in, and now I'm here thinking Polarity is probably the right play just because I'm looking at it. You have a lot of blues, so that's why I skewed to Oasis Respite. But again, you want to keep them, so Polarity might be there. So you do you, right? You got the cards are very, very equivalent. And then I have Springboard, okay, on there. Now, not a blue, but that's a really great Arsenal card. We're on AB3. That rounds it out. It's really nice that you only have 1 weapon in this, right? We're not playing the Kodachis, anything like that. No needles for you. You're not doing any crazy things. Remember, 2 and 3 card hands for hit, explode. Hit, explode, and sometimes you're going to have to do setups. The vast majority of your cards actually defend better than you would think in terms of comparative to other ninjas, except for this large, chunk of 10% of your deck that just doesn't block. But you get to do that, and then you get to tutor out what you need. Remember, when you're tutoring out what you need, that's a card. It also produces a kitty when you do the Zen thing, right? Not irrelevant. So make sure you use it to your advantage. So anyway, folks, have some fun with this one. I am by no means saying that this is better than the other ninja decks in the format. Not what I'm saying, but I think that Zen is not as bad as many of us has given him credit for. It's just he's not the same, and we have to play him as intended.